Okay, we're filming.
No, we're not.
This is Lisa.
It's not Lisa.
Lisa.
Some ugly
Trevino.
girl that looks like Lisa.
This is it. How does the lyrics go?
This is it.
Here I stand. I feel great.
What up?
You should just dance.
Wait, you want me to do my wall one?
Yeah, go.
Don't look me.
Don't break my water dispenser or else we're gonna have to go to Walmart. That's what happens. You break it. Oh. And
I'm just gonna stand
go to
here.
Walmart. Okay.
Don't film me, Chloe.
Look at that Mexican ass.
Stop looking at it. Alright. You know? Today's just one of those days. You know what the worst feeling in the world is?
What, Lisa? Please tell me.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
When you're like, sorry. I feel so much peer pressure right now. Okay, you know when you're like walking, you're walking, and then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, and you realize that you have an itch right in between the crack, like it's in there. You have to go in there and get it, you know? And like, you're in public, you're like in a mall, or a Target, or, oh, even worse, at school. Oh my god, when you're at school, it's like, there's no way you're getting away with it. You have to wait till the end of the day. And like,
Or at least go to the bathroom.
no, like it's bad. Because some of those teachers, they're like bitches and they want to write you those passes. They're like, oh, you only get one a semester. So you've already used yours on like the other bad day when you had to take a shit. Those are worse. And then you have to walk to the other side of the school just to take one, so you're in like the gym bathroom where nobody goes.
This is a real story.
I know. That's a true story, actually. I had one of those problems. In 8th grade, I had one of those bad times. Anyway, so you're walking in the mall, and then you're like, oh, and you're like, you're walking, you're doing some goofy walk now, and you're like kind of clenching it. You know what I'm talking about? And you have that itch right in the crack, and you can't get it because you have jeans on, right? And because you're gay, you sag, so you're like, oh no, oh no. And you're like trying, and you're like getting behind your friends, and you're like, hey, can we stop right here? But you still can't get it, so there's like nothing. There's nothing you can do. And sometimes it's like a holiday, and you're like in the Macy's bathroom, which is like the biggest line, and no matter where you go, there's this huge line you have to wait just so you can just get this one itch. And like, it's terrible because sometimes you have to wait till the end of the day. But the best feeling in the world, Carla, is when you finally get that itch. You like, seriously, you go for it. So you like take off your pants and you're like, oh. Oh my god, this is the best feeling in the entire world. Yeah. Do you know how many times that's happened? A lot.
I didn't even answer.
I know it's happened to you, Carla.
It has, actually.
Yeah, like it happens to everyone.
Everyone, no
that's
one can
listening
deny
to the
it.
story and like going, ew, she's got an itchy butt. Well, deep down inside, they've had that same problem at least once.
Lisa, you look tall.
And everybody in the school.
Oh, thanks for
has
cutting
at
me
least,
off.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
Everybody in the school has at least had to take a shit, and they've had to hold it. And they'll go to the nurse's office and be like, I have a sore throat. Because whenever you go to the nurse's office and you're like, I have a stomach ache, and they're like, oh, well, do you have to poop? And then you're like, no, I don't poop. What are you talking about? So then you're like sitting there like, yeah, about it, and then you have to start crying just so they'll send you home.
That's my excuse, you know?
And then your mom comes, and then she's like,
You have to poop again, don't you?
good? And then you're like, I just need to go back. Go, run, drive home. It's gonna come out. And you're like freaking out in the car. You're like, oh my god, we need to get home now. And you finally get home and you're running out the car. You're like, and you get on the toilet. You've already started pulling down your pants before you even got to the toilet. You're like already there, and you're like.
You did that like so perfect.
Do you know how many times that's happened?
I've actually went home like every day for a week because I had one of those bad weeks where it's like you have to
There's
poop every
something wrong with
day.
your stomach for a week. I know
Yeah.
it happens to everybody, whether they.
My mom knows it too. Like I'd call her on the phone and I'd be like, Mom, I don't feel good.
She's
She'd
like,
be
I'm gonna be right there.
yeah, she's like, I'll be right there. Just try to hold it.
No, like seriously, like when you have something like that happen, it's okay. You know, it happens.
Tell all our viewers it's okay.
You know, like what is the big deal about pooping in a public restroom? Like, yeah, it's a little weird, but you know, like we pee in public, and that's okay. And it comes from down there, and you can hear it too. It's like.
Sometimes it's louder than pooping.
Yeah, sometimes you got these one girls that are like standing next to you in the other stall, and you're like sitting there peeing nice and quietly, and she's over here like, and you're like, Jesus Christ, lady, calm down. It's
Some
not
people
a
aren't
race."
embarrassed, you know.
Like, I know, some people
I
are
went
like,
to the bathroom and then like they seriously ran in and slammed the door. They couldn't even lock it. They just slammed the door and then
and it's
they
like
sat
opening,
down.
and they're like,
Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like
no. You know what another terrible moment is? When you're like in a public restroom, right? Peeing, you're doing your business, and then some lady walks in and she gets in the next stall, right? And you're still peeing, and then all of a sudden you hear her fart, and then you're peeing, and then all of a sudden it just stops. At that point, you're just like doing those laughs that are like, and you're like trying to hold it in, and you're like, and then and then you know what's worse? Whenever you're trying to hold in that laugh, and she's over here like, and you're trying to hold it in, right? But then all of a sudden your laugh, it turns into one of those farts, like, and then the lady next to you, she thinks you farted. And then she starts laughing at you, being disrespectful. When all this time you were trying to be respectful, trying to hold in that laugh, but then you had one of those laughs, because sometimes one of your, you know, when your laughs, they just turn into fart noises. When you're trying to hold it in, they're like, and then it's over. Like, then you have to wait for that lady to leave, and then she won't leave because she farted. And you didn't even fart, but now it seems like you did. So you're just sitting in there like, oh my god. And you're thinking like, what if I get out of the bathroom and then she comes out at the same time and we're both like staring at each other like,
I know you. You're in my class.
oh, that's the worst. I didn't even think about the school situation. Oh my god, speaking of school. When you're sitting in class and you have to go to the bathroom and you wait for their certain period so you can just go and be in the bathroom by yourself. So you can just pee or something, or when you have to change like your pad or your tampons or something, and you go in there and it's nice and quiet, and then somebody else goes in there, and then you guys are both waiting to pee at the same time. Like,
Sometimes,
gotta do
like
it.
when I have to poop, I go into the bathroom, make sure no one's there.
Yeah.
And then like no one's there, and I pull down my pants. I'm like, okay, perfect time. It's about to come out, and someone walks in,
and then all of a sudden
and then
you just swallow it back.
and then they sit down and they're waiting to poop too. And they're like, oh god, when is she leaving? I have to take shit so bad.
But, you know, with girls, they make it seem like, you know, we don't poop. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But, like, it's worse, like, whenever, like, one of you has to poop, okay, you're in the stall, one girl has to poop, you're sitting there, you have to pee, and you have to change your tampon or your pad or whatever, and she's waiting for you to go first, and you're waiting for her to go, so that you can make all your noises and she can make all hers. But what happens is, you finally make the first move because that's how it just ends up. You always have to be the first to go.
Okay.
And so, here you are in this quiet bathroom,
Yeah.
and then
7
and
seconds.
Then you have to rip your tampon. And
Okay,
then
ready?
she's like,
Okay, we're gonna end this right now.
okay, bye.